Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to?
Welcome again to Street Talk. My name is Ahmad Zakaraki. And on Street Talk, we deal with political, social, and economics here in Michigan, across the U.S., and abroad. Now, joining me tonight,
Dennis Burnside.
Paget Maynard.
Okay, man, we got a whole bunch to talk about. But you were saying something about Minnesota.
Last week on the show, I opined, because it was, I think the shooting had happened the day before when we taped. And I opined that the shooter was probably a brand new recruit to ICE, little experience, little qualifications. Well, it turns out that's not the case, but it's almost as bad.
Yeah, he
had 10 years experience with us. Yeah, he'd been there 10 years.
Yep.
He has been in multiple engagements with civilians where he went over the top. And apparently one woman that he was bullying took off. He was caught by his coat and dragged for a little bit and ended up with some stitches.
And that is stitches.
Yeah, and so they tried to use that to justify his reaction in murdering this woman. But the thing I'm so proud of is, as the days have gone on, you've seen almost nightly protests.
Yes, thousands out
Thousands and thousands, just getting more and more people just saying, man, get out of here. They're confronting these guys. They're calling them what they are, cowards and bullies, demanding that they take their masks off, demanding that they show ID. I saw one guy say, man, who are you to ask me for ID?
Yeah.
What's your ID?
Yeah.
What's your badge number?
Yeah.
He faced down like 5. And then another one, I saw a video of a young brother who was being harassed by 2 or 3 ICE agents. And he was giving it right back to him. He said, man, you can't ask me any questions like this. And as the conversation went on, he said, man, I'm an engineer. I've got a master's degree in math. I'm working this job as an Uber driver to pay off my student loans. That's why I'm parked here with everybody else. I noticed you didn't go bother any of the white Uber drivers, and I noticed that you don't have your name on your chest. So you show me your ID, I'll show you my ID. And this man sounded like he went to law school, because he's running down his constitutional rights in a way that made me proud. And don't you know, I wish I could remember the guy's name, but Trump's leading ICE officer, I guess you would call him, on the ground in the United States was there. And
Coleman?
And he lit into him too. So you had 15, 20 ICE guys slink away because someone stood their chest out and said, man, I'm not showing you a damn thing. I'm a citizen. I know my rights. And you're stepping over the line, and you're the ones violating the law. So now you're starting to see people demand that these guys be arrested and forced to explain themselves. And you're seeing municipalities like New York City and L.A. and others saying, man, you're not welcome here. And if you do anything that's illegal, we will arrest you. And a couple have been cuffed. So you start to see some pushback to these guys. Mar-a-Lago face Kristi Noem, of course, the plastic surgeon victim, has responded by saying she's going to send an additional 1,000 ICE agents to Minneapolis. So, true to the Trump regime, they'll up the heat until it's so hot they have to get out the kitchen. So they don't have any respect for the Constitution. They don't have any respect for the rights of people.
No.
And what
they're just
justification?
to be bullies. That's it.
What justification could they bring to send more people in there instead of taking out those?
Well, this all started with that
fraud.
with that fake fraud case brought by this young kid, Sullivan or whatever his name is, who went around videotaping daycare centers and questioning why was the door locked and why don't I see any kids and why won't you let me in? Well, first of all, man, you come in there after hours. When you do go within hours, you expect the daycare center in these times have its doors unlocked so anybody can walk in here? The way as violent as America is?
Yeah.
And it's been disproven to the point now where the kid's hiding and can't explain himself. And you've seen where the evidence is coming out that the woman who started this whole scheme, she did recruit Somalians to go out there and defraud the government.
Yeah.
But the top people were good old-fashioned white Americans, 2 of the 3 Republicans who saw a way to make money off the government. And as this scheme is unraveling, and become more and more embarrassing, Trump decides, okay, now's a good time to send in ICE. I'm going to show him who's boss.
Yes.
I mean, the guy is a complete, just a complete
Idiot.
disaster.
Well, he's the stupidest person ever been born, and 1,000 years from the day he still will be the stupidest man ever born. So
You sure he was born?
and-
You know he's stupid when George W. Bush saying, damn, that dude's dumb.
yeah, and the thing is, and the thing is that he's going to go into this country. He's going to go into this country. He's going to go into this. Well, we're back. I mean, we back into people. It's like,
Look.
I mean, and the thing about it, lots of people who know law, man, saying that he shouldn't have the guy from where is it? The guy who
South Africa?
no.
Maduro?
Maduro.
Oh, Maduro.
Venezuela?
From Venezuela, yeah.
He shouldn't. He said Trump shouldn't have brought him to the U.S. Man,
Well, the
He
whole
had
thing is stupid
had
about
no authority.
He had no authority.
Exactly.
Not only that, he takes Maduro and his wife out of there, right?
Yeah.
But he leaves his entire cabinet
Cabinet.
and government in place.
Yeah.
And then he turns around to ice the stupidity cake and says, we're going to control the country. We're going to control all
Yeah.
the oil and we're going to keep all the money.
Yeah.
So, okay, the only U.S. oil company that's still operating there now is Chevron. All the rest of them left were kicked out because Chavez, when he was there, he said, we're going to nationalize the oil. And we're going to make it so that we make the money, not these multinational corporations. So of course the multinational corporations pull back all their engineers, all their mechanics, all the experts on how to keep the fields running and updating the machinery running. So it fell into disrepair. And they went from something like 3 million barrels a day down. I think they're like 800,000 barrels a day in production now. Very minor amount to the world oil contribution. But here's the point. Trump says we're going to take all the oil and we're going to disperse it the way we want to.
Yeah.
And then he brings in all the oil executives and they're like, man, it'll take $500 to $800 billion, I should say, over 10 to 20 years to get this back to the standard as was before Chavez came in.
Yeah.
And we boycotted them and wouldn't let anybody go there and work on the oil field, so it fell into disrepair naturally. We can't risk that kind of money when somebody can change policy in the blink of a tweet. We can't invest in there, man, because you're unstable.
Yeah.
And they walked away, and he had nothing. He's standing there looking like a bigger fool than he already is, because the oil companies say, man, this ain't even a good investment. Not only that, oil production worldwide is diminishing, even if the United States was recalcitrant trying to play like drill, baby, drill. The rest of the world is moving to renewable energy.
Yeah.
So they're like, we don't have this kind of money to invest when we got a fool in the White House and we have no guarantee we'll even have a market by the time it comes to
And
fruition.
You and I and others are going to pay.
Yeah.
Well, that's
because
the other thing.
Yeah.
So is that a U.S. taxpayer
It's
obligation?
U.S. money going to go in there.
Well,
And some of those people, man, he had there, some were saying, "Well, I don't know about this,"
Well,
some of those companies.
The executives
All of them are.
basically walk away from
I
it.
know some of them just said, "We
walk away from
Oh,
it.
it was unanimous. There was nobody at that table outside of Chevron who's already there who said, "Yeah, we'll invest X amount of billions into this. We'll commit to rebuilding the oil fields here because you asked us, and we see this lucrative opportunity." They told him it costs too much. The
Even
market's
Chevron
diminishing.
is not
And then they said
supporting.
away from the table to reporters that, how can we invest in Venezuela when this dude could change the policy when he wakes up and he's taking his 3 a.m. dump and starts tweeting?
Yeah.
How could, or Truth Social, or whatever he does, how can we invest money when in the blink of an eye this dude to change his mind and change the policy? We're standing out there and we're committed.
Yeah.
So it's not going to happen.
No.
But he didn't think that through because he doesn't
can't.
have the brains to think
And the
things
thing
through.
about it,
He doesn't think.
The thing about it, he lied to the people. Oh, it's going great. Yeah, they'll do it. Yeah, it's like I had just seen, and many more had just seen and heard the people some of those people at the table said, "No, I don't think so," and he going, "Oh well, it's going great. It's going. Yeah, they." It's like, man.
Which leads us to an issue that's connected, and another one that is tangentially connected, and that is enough people in Congress are getting ticked off with this, and they say we got to investigate the Department of Justice.
Yes.
And they're talking about it for two reasons. Trump went over there and blew up 15, 20 fishing boats, right? Trying to justify it, saying that they were drug dealers.
yeah.
Now, we know that it would take 15 to 20 fill-ups for a boat of that size and capacity to get to the United States. And even if they were going out there and they had a boat full of fentanyl and they were meeting some big boat that could take it all the way to Miami, it would take an armada of those little boats to fill up the capacity
Yeah.
that to take a drug that they don't make, cocaine or fentanyl,
Yep.
to Miami. The whole thing was a pretense.
Yeah.
So you're starting to get people like, okay, man, but what really iced the cake for some of these Republicans, Tillis was on TV yesterday. I don't watch the Sunday talk shows anymore because it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
I look at the excerpts. But Tom Tillis, a Republican, said, look, this is getting to the point where we're going to have to impeach, or no, I take that back, not impeach. We're going to have to investigate the Department of Justice, which, is being misled by Pam Bondi. They had announced that they were going to, first Trump said, I'm going to fire Jerome Powell, the head of the Fed. Then they come back and say, we're going to investigate the feds. And they're like, dude, you know what? You're starting to hit where you starting to get into the kitchen where the cake is baked. We're trying to let the yeast rise, and you're running around here stomping and making all this money. The big players, Wall Street, international banking, they're all like, man, you got to stop playing. Because one thing is for certain. With all the damage Trump has done, one thing that the United States leads the world in is in economic policy and the safety of investments here. Even as the world looks for an alternate currency to the U.S. dollar, even as the world looks to find leadership, international leadership for organizations like NATO and the UN. Trump's talking about he's going to dissolve the UN. I mean, even as they do all that, they still rely on the United States to be a safe place for investment, to be a safe place for long-term planning.
It has been
because
for a long
the
time.
Fed always makes decisions based on economic indicators, not politics.
Yeah.
And here Trump comes in. He wants to upset the whole apple cart,
yeah.
put in another buffoon, one of these low IQ idiots that he has at the FBI and the DOJ and any other number of agencies you have. Put another one of these numbskulls in there like Christine Nome, put them in the Fed, have them drop the interest rates down to 0.2% of whatever he thinks it ought to be.
Yep.
And now you got an international problem with inflation, and you got a huge worldwide problem. And the bankers who have the ear of these Republicans, especially the ones who are the old, traditional, strong defense, strong economy, low tax Republicans, they're like, we can't have this. This is getting to be too much because you're messing around. It's one thing for you to go over there and beat up on these Negroes. It's another thing for you to go over there and
Touch my
intimidate
pocketbook.
and terrorize these Mexicans and these Latinos. We don't give a damn about them. But you messing with our money now.
Touch my
And
pocketbook.
it's starting to become a real issue for Trump.
Yeah.
And the amazing thing, what I really was happy to see, Powell, the Fed chair, he didn't hold his tongue back. They were at this building that was being renovated, and Trump came, pull out his paper, so making all kind of accusations. And Powell said, no. He gave it to him. He said, no. And then Powell got there and he told out, look, this was such, that was that. And Trump talking about things that had nothing to do with what he was doing, trying to make him look
he tried
like
to
an
imply
idiot.
that money, there was an overrun on the
Yes.
money
Yeah.
because of Biden's incompetence, and here's what it is.
But Powell
And Powell said-
actually asked
Powell
them
said-
to
Powell-
investigate it.
No, Powell was funny. Powell said, let me look at that, man.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Trump pulls it out,
Yeah.
hands it to him.
Yeah.
Powell says, nah, dude.
He said, "That's 3
This
4 years
is what was spent, what was allocated and
3 or 4
was
years.
used. It's already spent.
Yeah.
This here is what we're talking about for now. Your numbers are off by half. And Trump's standing there looking now instead of just being orange.
Well, we'll hand it
he's
back
looking
and he
red
just pass it
orange.
to
And
somebody.
they said that's when it hit the fan. He got embarrassed on TV.
And that is,
They said that's when it hit the fan for
he
Trump.
cannot take it.
Yeah.
He likes to embarrass people. But when you hit back at him, I tell you, the man is a big coward. And cowards, you get at them, you strike, they're ready to run. You stand up to a bully, and you see how quickly he's ready to run.
Well, he did run. He shit his pants.
You were saying
He stood right there in front of America and let one loose, and now Powell's got to pay the price, right?
Yeah. And you were saying something about the Supreme Court.
Oh, Lord. Brother Clarence Thomas. I jot down some notes from something I was listening to. And Clarence Thomas, at a meeting with legal folks in Washington, D.C., they say he stunned the crowd by declaring that Trump has been the worst president this nation has ever endured. Thomas warned that Trump's reckless and unbelievable decisions are not only haunting the country now, but could derail the very future of America if left unchecked.
You telling me Clarence Coon Thomas said that?
You hear what I say?
Man, that must be AI.
Listen, I don't know.
That had to be
I saw
AI,
it,
man.
and I literally had to write down these notes.
There's no bottom to his corruption and sophistry. I think that was AI, man.
Listen, AI, BI, or whoever I.
Yeah.
If this is true,
If it's true, that's a new game.
if this is true,
Yeah.
you have a big problem in that Republican seat.
But if it's true, it would probably be motivated by the factors that we've already talked about, the impact on business and Wall Street with some of these stupid moves.
And of course,
The
Clarence
risk
got to
of-
keep his people happy, because
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about the guys playing around with World War III. You know, he's got China, and I want you to tell people about the 60+ one. But
Yes.
he's got China and our so-called adversaries moving down to the Caribbean. They've already, as we talked about in the show last week, they've set up a new system that goes around our SWIFT system to send money internationally, where they don't need to have us involved at all, aren't trading in the U.S. dollar anymore.
Yep.
So they're looking at all these things and say, man, you're to the point now where we can't afford to have you. And those yahoos you have out there who are willing to go to the mat for you, we got some for them. By the way, fellas, have y'all noticed, man, where's the 3%ers? Where's the Proud Boys? Where's
I don't know.
all these fools at?
maybe they become National Guards.
ICE.
Nice.
Maybe the ICE.
Have you noticed that?
ICE is who I mean.
Yeah.
The ICE.
You
not
don't
the-
see me. They always march for the tyranny and get the government off our back. So now you got the government running buck wild, shooting citizens in the street,
Yeah.
absolutely trampling on people's rights as Americans,
Yeah.
and they're nowhere to be found.
And
Maybe it's because they're the ones with the mask
They
on
might
their
be
face.
the ones.
And the thing about it is that all you got to do is be 18. No,
And look, man.
no education, no nothing. All you got to do is
Ahmad,
be 18.
I don't
People
care
who
about
have
age.
been unable to get into the military. People have been unable to even begin to become a policeman because they look at their record or their physical condition and reject them out of hand. Oh, ICE, come on, baby.
Yeah.
We'll give you. How much you make a Burger King? How much,
$50,000 to write their name if they could write it
yeah,
properly.
listen, how much you make a Burger King as assistant night manager last year? 23.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll give you 35 to sign it. Oh, and I get to kill
Yeah.
black folks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know.
This is crazy.
But see, the thing about it is that the thing that makes me angry is that when they first come out here, man, wearing those masks, I said then, somebody should protest and somebody should do something about that. And now, almost a year later, you know,
But listen.
they out here now, mask on and everything.
They've shot 10 people.
Yeah.
And you know, and man, I've been reading the New York Times since I was a little boy. My dad used to buy it on Sundays. Always respected it. Always thought it was paper record. And I still read it daily, man. But it's so much out there that they just don't even talk about. Like, for example, after the young woman was shot last week, we come to find out that there was a black man who was shot New Year's Eve by ICE. ICE. What they got to do with it?
Yeah.
He's outside celebrating New Year's Eve, shooting a gun in the air, which hundreds of thousands of people do. And the ICE agent walked up on him and questioned him and then summarily executed the man. No questions have been asked.
No.
They had another case in, I believe it was in, it was on the East Coast. Maybe it's the Philadelphia area, but I forget, where a woman was in an interaction with ICE and she was giving him lip as is her right. He shot her 5 times.
What?
Shot her 5 times. She lived. And don't you know he bragged to his friends and said 5 shots, 7 holes. What about that fella? Like he was proud, telling his boys.
You see this one last week?
He called it F&B.
Yeah, but then he had his phone. Why would you have your phone in one hand and your gun in another?
Yeah.
Or you're planning to videotape your execution of this woman
man.
Yeah.
and then go and boast about it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know.
And then Donald and his buddies talking, oh, well, she was about to run him over. And since he did that, Mr. Vance.
They had this lady, one that wear this old big wide hat, cowboy hat on.
Christy Plastic Surgery, no.
Yeah, and the guy had on, it was CNN, I guess it was Sunday, no. Anyway, he kept asking her that how did she know, and she wasn't there. And she kept saying, well, I was there, I was in Minnesota yesterday. And he said, well, he still wasn't there when this happened. Yeah, but I mean, you know, it's
30 minutes
Yeah.
after the woman was
Yeah,
murdered,
yeah.
she made up all these lies about
Yeah.
the agent was threatening for
Yeah.
his life and she was a terrorist
Yeah.
and aggressive. And stop lying.
And
You
Vance
know what?
coming out talking.
Everybody's looking at the video.
Yeah.
You can lie about a lot of stuff. But, you know, this is almost like a Rodney King type of thing. You
Yeah.
lying out of one side of your mouth. We're looking at the
Yeah,
video
yeah.
on the other
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
And this time, they messed around and they killed a white woman. If that had been your black ass, no, I'm not joking. Probably wouldn't have made news.
I know.
Because like I said, when I just told you about the brother that got killed by ICE on New Year's
Yeah.
Eve, most people don't know about that. I certainly didn't know about it until this woman in
this
Minnesota
is the first time
was
hearing.
murdered. Yeah,
But you know,
because we expendable.
yeah,
It's like, whatever.
yeah,
We used to
Yeah.
buy them.
yeah,
So yeah, man, it's getting to the point now. People say, look, man, enough is enough. And I ain't talking about Minneapolis because you know they've been through it with George Floyd
Yeah.
during the pandemic, and they have now a well-established track record of going out the streets and protesting.
Yeah.
You're seeing these protests nationwide.
Yeah,
You're seeing these in small towns, Hootervilles, where they're coming out protesting against ICE
Yeah.
because they are the very definition of tyranny, man.
Yeah.
They're government agencies. They're brown shirts. They're Gestapos. They're the SS.
yeah.
And they're going out here trampling on the Constitution, and it's hard for even Bobby Joe and Cletus to defend this type
Yeah.
of behavior.
Yeah, and the thing is, man, is that just like I said, man, just like we all saying, and a million more, the man he's got everything that Hitler was doing. He's doing it now.
Yeah, he's trying.
Yeah,
Is one thing he better learn. You could do as much as you want, but not as long as you want.
well,
And the next thing, Donald, time is longer than twine.
Well, he also has. There's more governmental resistance to Trump than there was to Hitler.
Very true.
Hitler cowed the entire German government once they had the Reichstag fire and they passed the Enabling Act. The entire government of Germany became supine. At least here, you have a Democratic Party that's standing
Yeah.
up to him and resisting him. Even though I think the leadership that Chuck Schumer is providing the Senate is pitiful.
oh yeah, yeah,
And I'm kind of looking sideways at my man Jeffrey. I like Jeffries, man, but damn, because think about it.
yeah,
When old reptile turtle McConnell was a Senate minority, man, he kicked up more dust and
Yeah.
caused more problems
Yeah.
and obstacles and,
Yeah.
and outright lies, whatever he needed to do.
Well,
to throw,
Anything.
Yeah, to throw the wrench in the works. But then you got Chuck Schumer coming along. Well, I think what we man,
And-
go retire.
and-
I tell you, sometimes you got to fight fire with fire.
And the thing about it, man, is like he when you saying what you call it was the top man, he even had the what you call it, not to even Obama, not to even appoint this person to
Yeah,
the
for the
Supreme Court.
Yeah.
You know?
Merrick Garland.
Yeah,
Yeah. Said we
Yeah.
can't do it in election
Yeah.
year. Then
went right on.
yeah,
Couple of weeks before.
Right, and then in a matter of a few days, they put the Amy Comey Barrett in there. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, and then he chuckles about it.
Yeah.
It's a big game.
Yeah.
So that's why to this very day, man, I go to a sporting event and they turn on the national anthem and I sit my black ass down.
Hey, man.
I'm like, man, I'm not. First of all, you've never given me my full rights. Second of all, you don't even take it seriously. Look at how you behave here and abroad, and I'm supposed to stand up there and salute that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what you think?
And,
I'm muted at home.
right.
When it comes on home, man, I'm
Yeah.
muted. It's got to mean something.
Yeah.
When you mean something and you adhere to what those words are saying, and it applies to us, justice for all, I'll be the first one to stand up there saluting with my hat off.
Well, you
And
Until
by
then,
the way,
well-
when you're singing the anthem, home of the brave, land of the free? No.
No.
It's not the land of the free.
No.
It is the home of the brave because you have to be brave to live here,
Yeah, you get
especially now.
to go to the grocery store. I've had people that say, "Man, you want to come out here to this event?" Let me
No.
I always think about it. Hey, is there going to be some guns? I always think about it. In the back of your mind, go to Meyer Garden to see a
Amen.
concert, and you got to worry about some nut coming up, right?
You mentioned earlier about the 60+1.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Chinese
The
missile.
Chinese missile. They said China has a message for Trump. And the message was, if you want war, you will have war. If you want to destroy China, you will be destroyed. If you try to impose a nuclear war on China, you will be annihilated by nuclear war. And then China go on, they're not going to fire the first shot.
I saw that.
But you are
Go
not going to
fire.
get to fire the second
Yeah,
one.
they go get 5-7. Yeah.
Now, the big thing, on the September 3rd parade, Victory Day, this machine, let me call it, can carry 60 nuclear heads at one time, plus a hydrogen bomb. That's a 60+1. And they can meet any place in this world. They hit you under 20 minutes. You can't stop it. They don't have any defense against it. And they're dead set. If you try anything, we're going to get you. So don't try. If you want to live, don't try.
And you know the thing about it, man? You look at what China does. I've had two of my children go there for educational purposes, and they talked about the bullet trains and how clean the airports are. And of course, you know, it's a totalitarian government. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. You don't have the right to free expression, but, you know, hell, do we have it here?
No.
But my point is, they are showing the fruits of investing in their people
Yes.
and having a world-class education. We're here, where we used to have it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, man, you can go look at some of the jazz greats or some of the great artists or some of the great athletes and look at the high schools they went. You know, they went to some public high school in Indianapolis or Dayton, Ohio, or Topeka, Kansas, and they're absolute geniuses, and they came out of there. Well, ever since Ronnie Reagan came in and they started defunding the schools and taking money out of it, it wasn't just for the money. I think the oligarchs realized that we got to dumb these people down.
Yeah.
Because if we can dumb them down, then we can manipulate them all we
Amen.
want. So let's have the churches and these people who reflexively think that the national anthem is something that came down from the mountains with Moses. Let's convince them they don't need all that fancy book learning. They need to just be patriotic and go to work, and we'll do what we need to do. And those are the people you can show them in the Constitution what it says, and they won't believe you. They don't believe that they have the rights that they do. And one last thing, man, I might have told you this story before. I don't know if I told Paget this. My sister went to junior high. She was 5 years older than me. I went to the same junior high a few years later. Junior high. I found an old yearbook, and, you know, I'm feeling nostalgic. That's my big sister. I love her. She's my role model. I'm looking at her old stuff because she's passed now. And I'm looking at this yearbook, man. Chess club, chemistry club, Latin club, French club, German club.
In Benton Harbor?
No, this is in Kalamazoo.
Kalamazoo?
Homemaking club, auto mechanics club. They had these junior high boys building cars. They take a frame, a chassis, and get the parts from the GM plant. And over 3 or 4 years, they'd have, you know, different classes working on it, and they'd build a car. And they'd come back and have a big celebration. They'd have, you know, it was very misogynistic, so they mainly had girls in home economics, but they were teaching them budgeting and how to run a checkbook.
Yeah.
That is
And
a
now-
big difference.
Chess club, Latin club. I defy you to find a public school in Bloomfield, in some of the most wealthy areas of Michigan, Grosse Pointe, and see that type of education being paid for now because they've been dumbed down. Meanwhile, our competitors, they're amping it up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, you see,
You get what you pay for.
whilst we're thinking that we're up on the mountain, those who are down in the valley been looking to see what's rolling down. And they now have picked up, and now they surpassed them. They're not up top of the mountain anymore. They have pulled us down. They're
yeah,
up there.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. That's all the time we've got tonight. My name is Ahmad Shakaraki, and we catch you the next block for more Street Talk.
Don't let anybody make you think that God chose America as his divine messianic force to be a sort of policeman of the whole world. God has a way of standing before the nations with judgment, and it seems that I can hear God saying to America, "You're too arrogant. If you don't change your ways, I will rise up and break the backbone of your power, and I'll place it in the hands of a nation that doesn't even know my name. Be still and know that I'm God."